Thank you. We're down to about 3 minutes left, so I'm going to go to Congressman and ask you for a brief assessment of the strategy that has been laid out by our president to deal with this threat of ISIS.
Well, there is not a strategy. I mean, and I think even he admitted that he didn't have one. So as we see that, there is a real desire on the part of almost all Americans to make sure that we deal with it. The threat is real. It is a threat against American interest and against American people. We need to understand that. And yet, what we need to do is to make sure that we have a clear, decisive objective, one that is strategical and focused, as General Dees was indicating. And if we do not have that, then what happens is we have a lot of dollars that are spent, billions and billions of dollars that will be spent in a camouflage of doing something to protect the national interest, and yet it doesn't. You know, when you have people at the State Department that says our greatest national security threat is climate change, you got an issue. I mean, in the morning, how ridiculous is that when you have our fighting men and women, they get up and they say, man, it's a little chilly. Maybe today is the day that we got to worry about climate change. It's just ridiculous.
General Dees.
The same question. What strategy? Yeah, thank you, Congressman. What strategy would be the question? And I would offer that we are in a very complex environment, and the reality is complexity requires strategy, whether you're in business or any endeavor to include the employment of national power, both internally and externally. We are playing chess, not checkers, and our administration needs to recognize that. Thank you.
I'm going to close this out. And some of you may have seen it. I was asked last week to do Judge Janine's program Saturday night, and I went to a studio in Atlanta, and the question came up of how can we put 3,000 troops on the ground so quickly to fight Ebola when we can't come up with a strategy to deal with ISIS? And here's my answer. In America, remember, we got what we asked for. This president is thinking like a community organizer, not a commander-in-chief that takes the lives and the futures of his soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines seriously. We've got a community organizer that has surrounded himself with people that know everything about climate change, everything about Marxism, everything about the LGBT agenda, but virtually nothing about national security. And he's unwilling to listen to his real professionals, that's the military professionals, because he doesn't trust them, because they represent something that he's never been able to understand. And that's a love for America. May God bless you. Give our panel a hand.